Right, boys, we're live now. I'm gonna stop the timer and start recording.
You're not using the theme tune?
Oh, well, we're live. No, I had it on later. Not for the. Actually, that's a really good point. I can add that on later.
Oh, right.
Well, I usually, when we do the podcast, I do when I edit that and put that up. But for the YouTube, that's a different beast.
Yeah, we've really started this with like a soft fart.
Okay, all right. Well, it's literally only just started broadcasting. So, here we go again. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do this properly, as I always do. Free, lone men.
I'm not alone.
Braver,
Yeah,
hungry for news and information from across the nerd web. Come together with their bounties. This is the story of the boys from Bossk. Boom! There you go.
hey.
This is our story? Are you sure? This is other people's stories.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I tried. Okay, I thought, I tried, man. I tried.
Need a script.
Okay, I'll write a script. I'll script it next time, and we'll see what can happen. How are you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Boys from Bossk. As always, from the new establishment, I'm with my colleagues, my fellow bounty hunters of information. How are you guys? You good?
Cosmic.
All gravy.
Now, this is probably the longest weekend I've ever had. So many different ways, but in particular, it's because the most exciting thing I was expecting to happen was that I got my jab this week. I've been jabbed, so I'm half invulnerable to COVID. And the other thing was two big events happened. So you had the first episode of Falcon
And Winter Soldier.
and Winter Soldier, and then the Snydecut, which, depending on how you look at it, is an example of how harassment and abuse can work in the industry. And we could also be seeing how, when given a chance to fulfill their dreams, anybody can tell a good story in 4 hours. But the Snydecut came out.
That was very cynical. That was very cynical. One little sentence. That was a very cynical approach to that.
Well, look,
Anyone could
League,
anyone could tell their dreams in 4 hours. All right, mate, calm down.
like, I don't know. Look, I'm just saying, right? When did the original Justice League come out?
2017.
2017, right? It came out then, and now this new one's come out like now, 4 years later. Was it worth the wait? Is my first question.
No.
Let me go with Mike first. Let me get Mike. Was it worth the wait?
I honestly didn't care about this the whole time. People were going on about it because Justice League was so underwhelming for me. I've loved the Justice League and Batman and all that palaver forever. Mm-hmm. So I was really underwhelmed by it. I was like, okay, yeah, they've done it. They've done a poor job. Yeah, job's done. Mm-hmm. So I went into this with zero expectations, and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It wasn't that I was looking forward to it and I was like, yeah, God, it's the best thing ever happened. I'm like, it felt like.
I know you didn't say that.
Yeah, no, but you know how DC continuously reboot the universe in the comics.
Yeah.
So they're always rebooting the comics, and there's always a way of how the Justice League is formed, and they've all got new origins and all this kind of stuff. It felt like I was watching like the new 52 on screen.
Yeah.
And it was like I was watching the formation of the Justice League in 6 issues in a comic, but it was on a film. Does that make sense? So I enjoyed bits of the Flash.
Yeah,
I thought he was great. I thought Cyborg was so much better. I enjoyed all the bits of Cyborg, and yeah, I didn't hate it. It. Does it need to be 4 hours? No. You know, do I think it was probably 2.5 hours if you took out all the slow mo? Yes.
And the pop videos.
Yeah, the pop videos. Loving a bit of Nick Cave in there. That's not, but yeah, I mean, I sat down, I watched it, I looked at the clock maybe 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was staring at it. I didn't hate it. Do I think it needed to be done? Probably not. They could have done just the director's cut with a couple extra scenes, and I think you would have been okay. And you wouldn't have got this if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Yeah,
there's no way you would have had a 4-hour, novella, on HBO. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. I think because I hated the first one so much, this one was like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
It's like when you go like to a restaurant, you've had a bad meal, and you go, oh yeah, that didn't make me sick.
Yeah,
it's like that kind of vibe. So yeah. And like I say, the Flash was good. I don't get, like, there are some scenes in it where they just like didn't need to happen.
Yeah,
and that's basically it, really.
Okay, and Dave, just looking at your face, I don't know what's coming. Dave,
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay,
I had that feeling of I've seen this before.
Yeah,
because I only ever watched it once, and that was when it came out. And then, like, certain scenes, I'm like, I've seen this. Have I seen this film? I think I've seen this film. And it dragged. It took me 3 days to watch it.
Really?
Yeah, because I went to watch it on the Thursday when it came out, and I'd done 2 hours, went to bed because I'd work. And the next day I came home from work, I watched an hour, and then fell asleep.
Yeah.
So Saturday morning I watched the other hour. So I've done it in 3 days. It's probably the best way.
Yeah. I did it
done
one
it by
day.
chapter. So I've done like 4 chapters, one chapter.
Okay.
But yeah, it was okay.
And
why was the Green Lanterns? Why were they there? Was
it worth the wait?
There, was there?
Essentially,
no.
No. Okay.
Like Mike said, you could just done a director's cut and put an extra 45 minutes on.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll get into it
some
a
of
bit
them were
deeper.
better. It's a lot darker.
I'll give my initial.
Likes the dark.
I mean, the whole DC universe likes dark.
She shows the Vex action figures, doesn't it? But yeah, no, for me, I didn't see the hype.
Okay.
What about you? What about you?
I watched it all in one go. I didn't watch much at the beginning because I was doing something else at first. But when I actually finally sat down and started watching it, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was entertaining. Was it worth the wait? No, because it has. I didn't hate the original Justice League, right? I wasn't a big fan of it, but I didn't hate it. My problems with it were that it didn't make much sense when I watched it. It was like, do I really care about this film? And do I really care about this one? Not much. Is it bad? No, I think Zack Snyder, again, as a visual artist, superb. His weakness is dialogue. His dialogue's appallingly bad half the time. And he keeps putting stuff in there. It's not worth it. It's like, it annoys me for no real good reason. And I'll give you an example. Every time somebody who's flying super powerfully fast comes along, he does the same thing. There's like a crack, like a thunder crack. And he done it at the end of the film. Batman's getting out of bed and he hears it. He's like, ooh, must be Superman or somebody coming for a visit or whatever. And I know Batman's seen everything, but a big green alien's at your front door. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay.
Well, yeah, because that was originally
I saw you want something.
That was cut though, wasn't it?
That was supposed to be Green Lantern, wasn't it?
Something like that. I don't know. I've heard plenty of rumors that it was meant to be this person, that person. But I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the original. I don't hate this. I think it was overly hyped. 4 hours just gave me more time to enjoy it with the characters, but it was too much, like all these pop videos. He spent 3 minutes on one shot of Aquaman walking down the road, taking his top off. I was like,
really? Oh, with the sort of folk song bit.
No, there's an entire separate scene.
When he left the Icelandic,
yeah,
he left Iceland and was going into the water.
Yeah, that was the folk song. That was the folk song bit. Yeah.
No, there's another bit. There's a music playing, and it's just Aquaman in the scene. There's nobody else in the scene. It's literally just Aquaman. And this is what I mean about this film. It blurs. There's loads of little scenes in it, which are just him putting music over it and bulking the film out, which I don't think it needed.
Well, like every time you see Wonder Woman, her theme tune comes on.
But subtly though, they didn't do as much as in the original Justice League.
Yeah.
I think Zack Snyder's a great visual artist. The bulking up of Cyborg works a lot better. His relationship with the Flash, like the Flash, is even better in this, even though he can't run. I don't get his running thing. Same problems with the Whedon cut. It doesn't look good in the run, and a lot of stuff doesn't make any sense. Like, why is Superman angry when he wakes up?
He's not angry. He wakes up. He's angry when the cyborg attacks him, and that makes him go into like defense mode.
Yeah.
That's why.
But you can already see he was still pissed with Batman.
No, he's confused. Well, yeah, he's going to be everyone's.
It's little things like that. Like I get it. Visually, it looks great, and I loved the look on Superman's face. His whole presence was so menacing in that moment that I was like, oh, damn. Do you know what I mean? Even I was a little bit intimidated by it. But that whole sort of section doesn't make any real sense to me, and it sort of jars you out of what's going on a bit.
I think it's a bit Lazarus pity, like when they wake from the Lazarus pit and they go, then they're a bit mad.
Yeah,
I think that's the vibe he was going for. Like like coming back to life is disorientating, and then Cyborg attacks, and then he goes, and then the one thing he does remember is, oh, this Batman guy's a dickhead, doesn't he? So he's like, I'm
killed me.
I'm having a go at him.
Yeah. I thought
the black suit's not explained, and that annoyed me.
Yeah,
that annoyed me because I was like, can it be something like he goes into the ship and it says, Kal-El, you need to rejuvenate your cells or something? It's like literally one sentence, a voiceover, a little robot where it explains why he had the black suit, so he has to go up and soak up all the sun. That would have made that really annoyed me because I'm just like, what? He's just suddenly gone emo now. Is that it? No, everyone's just saying like, oh yeah, Superman's a goth now. Don't tell anyone. Don't talk about
it. In morning.
Yeah. What, for himself? That's really up yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sad that I died. You know what I mean?
And that's the other thing that bothers me about the film when he come back, right? Batman, right, for a guy who's obsessed with being what he did to Superman, why did he let Martha lose the farm? Like, wasn't he keeping an eye on her, or like just paying attention to what was happening to her at all?
Well, no, they did explain that, didn't they? Because she said that she wasn't telling anyone. So Bruce might have been checking in, being like, "Are you okay for money?" It's like, yeah, cool, got it all sorted. And then by that time, the bank's already got it. That's why he had to buy the bank, innit? Or he just wanted to be a baller, innit? He wanted to do the whole.
I brought the bank. It's quite strange because the new TV show connects with that sort of story as well, though, doesn't it? So have to cashed into the bank and everything with the farms.
So one of the scenes that is one of the better scenes, the action scene that they had when they first fight Steppenwolf.
Yeah, with the little crab thing.
That vehicle makes no sense whatsoever.
What, the spider vehicle?
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, its build, its construction, it's like just a wide target. Do you know what I mean? And it spoils a really good action scene, right? Because it doesn't make any sense as a vehicle whatsoever. Of all Batman's possible vehicles, right? It's like, why did you build something like that? Like, it's bad at doing everything.
So he could climb the sewers.
I know. It jars me out of it. Every time I see that, it jars me out of film. And I think that's one of the worst moments in the original Justice League for me. And it sort of, did you guys did it make Like, I know it sounds like I'm being really paid, but it literally jars me out of the film at the way it's moving.
You're overthinking that, mate. Because like Batman always has mad vehicles, doesn't he? He's got it. He's
bigger and bigger and bigger.
He's always got mad stuff, and you got to remember, like, he's getting all the weird stuff that the military doesn't want.
Yeah.
So that's why all this stuff's going to be a bit weird, isn't it? It's going to be, oh yeah, the military didn't go for this crab thing, Mr. Wayne. I'm really sorry. He's like, oh, don't worry. I think I've got a little thing for it. Wink, wink.
All right. In that case, maybe I should mention all the things I liked about this new Snydecut. All right. Let's see. Okay, all the things I liked about the new Snydecut. I liked the fact they gave Cyborg more room.
Yeah.
To act. I didn't like his almost sexual relationship with the vehicle with Batman's plane. Oh, she just wants to fly. What are you on about? But apart from that, I liked everything else about Cyborg.
Well, he could talk to it, couldn't he?
I don't.
I don't know where I don't know where you got sexual from that, mate. I think he was just having a chat. I think you need to calm down there, mate. Just yeah.
Mike, bring Curtis, come back from the edge. It's fair enough. I may be going too far. Put my hands up. I like the Cyborg outlook. I thought it was a lot better. I like the Flash a bit more.
Why was his head so big?
Who, the Flash?
The Cyborg.
Cyborg. Again, that jarred me out a lot.
Body,
but I don't
his head proportion was just
no, half of his head. Like one half.
So when he was like human, he was like built like a brick shit house, and then suddenly he's the skinniest robot you can see with the biggest head.
That didn't take me out too much. I didn't mind.
It was a bit freaky. He could have fallen over, because his head was so heavy.
When he first flies, head first straight into the ground.
I like the bit where he's in the internet. I like that visual representation of him in the internet.
Yeah, they could have put a lot more in there.
Yeah, but I think I liked that. And when the stock market and it's the bear and the bull fighting, I thought that's such a nice little touch. Like he could literally manipulate the whole of the economy, and all he does is give this single mum $100,000.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's fucking.
And you
awesome.
don't see her get arrested later for embezzlement of theft. But anyway, that's another story, right?
And she can only draw out $300 at a time.
And she'd have to pay tax on that anyway, because in America you have to pay tax. You have to pay tax and prizes in America. So she's only got $50,000. So you should have really given her $200,000.
Yeah, he should be a bit more generous.
All he did was change some ones and zeros around.
Yeah. Ryder went to the studio and said, "I need an extra 200 million."
Yeah, exactly. He got it, didn't
he? What else was there?
The Flash going back in time was good.
Yeah, Did you like the future that they showed?
My god, are we going to talk about the Joker?
In society, yeah, I think we should, because that was hyped up a lot, and literally it's like 5 minutes of the film.
Right. So one thing I noticed about it, I watched that scene again because I was like, oh, I think Jared Leto is doing a thing, where every line he says. He changes his accent, not in just like different pitches, but in almost like he's like different people in that. So he goes from like 6 different people within that just sentence. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. At least you've tried to do something.
Yeah.
And then the bit about the boy wonder bit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, are they trying to make it that he was Robin? Because it sounded like he was Robin or something.
I think they hinted at that before.
They were, weren't they?
Because I think there's that scene in.
They did mention Robin, how Batman killed him, didn't they? Did they not mention that?
They don't mention how Robin's killed.
Yeah.
The only thing they ever do is they show a picture, of the suit. And they always hint. And I think there was an old Batman story where he tortures Robin to the point Robin goes a bit bonkers at one point. I think that was the animated Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Where what's his name? Dick Grayson goes mad.
No, Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. he goes a bit bonkers because he got tortured by the Joker.
Yeah, and he
becomes
and
the Joker without
the
knowing.
Joker puts like a microchip in his head or some shit.
I got the last laugh, Batman. What did you guys think of the Future Vision apart from like the whole thing, the whole setup? Like, you know, I think it was Mera, Cyborg, Deathstroke, Joker, and the Flash. Somehow running away from Superman. Was that worth the wait? Was that like
no? That was pointless. I think that was utterly pointless for this cut because there's going to be no sequel. Yeah, it just made no sense in this because you're setting up something that we're never going to see. Are we? You know, I understand you really want to have this version of the Joker and this version of the Batman have a conversation. Fine, include something in Justice League that would make sense. Have, I don't know, him chasing him at the end and have like a conversation, but not this nightmare thing that we're never going to have answers to, we're never going to see happen. I mean, what we're going to do, we're going to get Zack Snyder write a comic about it, probably.
Yes, we are, because they just announced it today.
Yeah.
You called it, Mike? No, they didn't announce it, but I think Zack Snyder said that they can finish the story off in comic books.
Yeah, they're never going to give him. They're never going to give him. Like, they just announced.
Even if this gets big money in for HBO, because I think this is their first really big test release, isn't it? What was before this?
It was all free though, wasn't it?
There was nothing.
But I mean, like,
nothing...
they've been advertising this. This is one of the first projects they advertised.
Tom and
HBO
Jerry.
Max. Yeah, so Tom and Jerry came out the previous month. This is
no, Tenant's not come out yet, has it? That was cinema.
No, Tenant's next week, I think. This was their big release. I mean, it dropped the same week as Disney Plus put out Falcon.
Yeah.
So I think if this brings in a lot of new subscriptions for HBO, they'd be stupid not to carry it on in some level. Like Ben Affleck's not going to turn down if HBO say, "Look, we want to do another mini series this time, following on Batman's story." They'd be stupid to say no.
I don't think they will, because I think they need to just start a new. This is the end of this, like the Snyderverse. It's like all of his stories, all of his threads are coming to an end because he's not been allowed to play with all the toys from the beginning, in a way, So he needs to be able to set, like they wanted in the Marvel thing, but they've tried to rush it, haven't they? We need the Marvel universe with 3 movies, That's what I think they've realised now, that they're not going to be able to do that.
But when they say it's the end of the Snyderverse,
didn't know about that.
Yeah, but when they say it's the end of the Snyderverse, guys, don't they mean it's just the end of him directing these films? Because Aquaman 2 is going to still be made, The Flash is still going to be made, and that'll be Flashpoint.
So you still think? See, so I read that as that was the end of this expanded universe.
No, because they've hired Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton.
No, I know they're doing The Flash, but I thought that was almost like I don't know, like a yesterday's fart kind of thing of like it, like one little last bit of wind.
Well, I think it's just their reboot. I think they're gonna it's their version of Avengers Endgame, isn't it? It's that's where they reboot the whole thing and go, right, we'll get a new director in, but we'll carry on because Batman. I
think that's their problem. They had a director. They needed to Kevin Feige this shit, man. They need to have someone literally have a vision, because I bet you he's got nothing in his house, except like one big wall and a bed, and it's just one big like timeline thing of like lines coming off and circles and Wolverine and just like a mad, like in 12 Monkeys where they're like just writing on the wall and stuff. I reckon that's what's gonna happen. That's what they need. They need that kind of vibe.
The last story I ever heard was one of the stories I heard. Was that they have the entire Marvel universe planned out.
Of course they do.
So they know everything they're going to do. It's just a case of when.
Well, look at everything that's the release when they've done that big annual meeting and all the releases they're doing just for the next 3 years.
Netflix must be shitting themselves. I wouldn't want to be anybody at Netflix right now, because it's like Disney's probably spending half the amount of money that Netflix is to get out what they're getting, and they're getting away with putting out maybe like 40% good product.
Yeah,
that's their Marvel, that's their Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, how long did we have? 2 weeks without a decent show?
Yeah.
And then we got Falcon again. And then what's starting after Falcon Winter Soldier? Loki.
Loki.
Do you know what I mean? So there's always going to be something you're going to want to watch. And that's the problem with Netflix. I will literally be on there for half an hour. And I will not find something I want to watch because it's literally
watch an episode and then go, "Oh, that was rubbish."
Or you watch 2 series and then they cancel it, and you're like, "Oh, I really got into that," because they don't do that. They don't renew shows, do they? No. They just like canceling them. It's like I quite enjoyed that Sabrina show, and they're like, "No more." And I'm like,
it had really high ratings as well.
Yeah.
No. Season 3, I think it dropped a
lot. Oh no, I still enjoyed it.
I know. I loved it. I loved Sabrina, but season 3 was pretty rough going. I don't know what happened really in season 3. Season 2 was really good.
Well, they knew they didn't have a job left, so they just went. That's what they did, didn't they? The last season, everyone just goes, "Oh."
I think that's it. I think they knew they weren't gonna get. I think they wanted to plan out the story for another season or 2, but they knew. Oh, we have to wrap up things now.
Yeah.
And this is the problem when they know they're not going to get renewed. They're like, okay, I guess we've got to finish, I think.
It's a shame. And I hope they do sort it out because with Jupiter's Legacy coming out, I think that show's going to be Umbrella Academy and Jupiter's, what is it? Jupiter
Legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah.
They're going to be Netflix's big tentpoles. HBO is really different in the sense that Disney's got Marvel and Star Wars, and they're doing really well. HBO don't have that. Do you know what I mean? They don't have the same sort of product. Their product isn't superheroes so much as Disney and Netflix
but they've got just as big a universe to play with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got all these cool stories they can be doing. Well, they've announced, haven't they? They're doing Zatanna. They're doing Batgirl. They're going to be doing cool stuff with. And then why are HBO just not doing anything with Harry Potter? Like you've literally got people, but you've got people begging for that kind of content, and there's none.
Oh, because they can't. They legally can't.
Why?
I think they
Warner Brothers own it, don't they?
No,
she still owns it, don't she? They had the rights to the movie.
They've got the rights to the film, but I think they got a legal contract with. I can't remember which studio it is. I'd have to look it up. But they're not even allowed to talk about plans for Harry Potter. It's kind of the same problem that Marvel had. So they're in a contract with another studio. I think it's Lionsgate or something, and they're not even allowed to plan a TV show yet. But once they're out of that contract, which is in the next couple of years or whatever, they'll go Harry Potter mad. And Harry Potter will be their Star Wars, basically. I think.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're going to have you're going to have it go back in time, go forward in the future.
I didn't even remember Harry Potter. That's actually, I'll find out which studio it is and I'll let you know in next week's episode. But yeah, I think there's a contractual problem with them doing any Harry Potter TV shows at the moment. But once that contract's over, then it's Harry Potter time. Game of Thrones is coming back, so I guess HBO Max has got all of that, but they need something else. They don't have what Disney had. They don't have their Marvel in the same. Their DC universe isn't in the same place.
No.
The closest thing they've got maybe is Titans. I think it's on there. Doom Patrol.
Titans is on Netflix, though, isn't it?
In the UK. In the States, I don't think Netflix is going to get the 3rd season, but don't quote me on that. In the States, it's all on HBO, so it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Netflix is going to lose that.
Stars Play, isn't it?
In the UK, yeah.
But it's not in the States.
No, HBO. Same with Swamp Thing, I think went over there as well, but it's on Amazon over here, isn't it?
Yeah, Swamp Thing got cancelled in season 1. So.
I don't think, it didn't even finish the season, did it?
No.
It was pretty bad. But it didn't get cancelled because it was bad.
I watched 3 episodes. It wasn't too bad.
It got really convoluted after about episode 5.
See, I only want to see Swamp Thing if he's dealing with Constantine. That's the fun comics for me. When him and Constantine are having arguments. I like that. That's my favourite thing. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see a Justice League Dark kind of thing. I want to see Constantine being an asshole. You know,
who's doing Constantine next? I think they're doing the Constantine.
They are. They're rebooting it, aren't they?
Where was my lack of faith in HBO? I sounded so miserable when this is how Zack Snyder makes me feel, right? He gets me a bit depressed. Yeah, because he could have done so much better. And I hate being that type of fan. But don't you think he could have just, if he'd made a few little changes, like brightening up the fucking screen for one, right? So it wasn't so dark.
Well, it was a eulogy, wasn't it? For his, it felt like a eulogy to his daughter. It was like everyone was experiencing loss in the film. Yeah. Like everyone was sad they're missing people. The whole tone of the film was like, "Oh, I'm grieving. Oh, I'm sad." Like every single person in that film was sad or grieving or working through something, you know. Yeah, and I think that affected the film quite a lot. You could see that.
But the only last thing that really annoyed me is it makes Superman seem like such an emotional wreck, right? Because the way Flash is talking about him, it's about her. And I like Batman's like, about who? Do you know what I mean? Superman knows two women, right? Martha. Who is it? Lois Lane or Martha? Just tell me. You've come back in time. Who? Do you know what I mean? Why even make the trip if you're just going to say, Bruce, it's all about her. Jane, and it's like, that's the one thing I didn't like Zack Snyder's Superman. He was too emo, too miserable. There was nothing. Yeah. To say waste of a good actor.
Yeah.
It was a waste of him. It was a waste of Henry Cavill, and I think Henry Cavill in his head had the Christopher Reeve Superman. Because the only moments where he seemed to be really like into it is when he was having fun on set.
Yeah.
And they didn't really give him that chance to do that, you know. But yeah. So guys, overall, would you recommend the Snyder Cut to people? Let's say, you know, I know most nerds will watch it anyway.
So but to those people,
yeah. Mike, would you recommend it as a 4-hour romantic interval in the evening?
I did it on a Sunday when I was tired.
Yeah,
and it was perfect for me. It was like It was like I sort of said to myself, I was like, am I going to watch 3 episodes or 4 episodes or something, or am I just going to watch this?
Yeah,
and I just smashed it out.
Cool. Well, I would personally say watch it. Like I said, I didn't hate the original Justice League. This is an improvement on the original. But did it need 4 hours? No. Will you feel like you've lost 4 hours of your life and never get it back again? No, you won't. No. It's a promise of what could have been. It could have been.
I've done it over 3 days, so that was good.
It's like reading. It was like reading 6 issues of a comic in one go.
Yeah.
You know, it had that feel to it. It felt like
that was the good thing about it, that you could stop at a chapter and then come back to it.
I think he had to. He realised that, you know, 4 hours. No one's just. Some people need pee breaks. You know, he needs to go and get a Coke. You know, he needs to go and get. You know, he needs to go and get. You know, just chill out and not think about it for a second. You know.
I wish Zack Snyder had just given himself more time to maybe tell a better story from the get-go. As opposed to what ended up on the screen, because it ain't bad, but I feel he could have given more. And also,
they did throw it all in though, didn't they? That's the trouble. You look at the Marvel universe. You had 2 Iron Man films, 2 Captain America films. You had another film before they done.
Well, you had a film each of each character before you had Avengers, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So you already knew the characters and. It built it
and the Marvel universe is very grounded, though. You know, the Marvel universe is a very it's not. Although can get a bit wild, especially with Thor. Its approach was much more grounded. It's already the end of the world by the first bloody
the first movie, and then they destroyed everything. It's
the end of the world is coming. There's no if what's his name succeeded, that would have been it. Do you know what I mean? And whereas with Iron Man, it was like is Dusty business partners but a terrorist. With Hulk, it was like, you know, biological experiment gone wrong. with
After
Justice League,
Justice
it was
League,
like,
Aquaman was a good film, and so was the first Wonder Woman film.
yeah, I still haven't seen the second Wonder Woman, but you know, it is
Yeah,
what
but
it
that
is.
doesn't count. That's like Zack Snyder's Justice League. You just watch it and it's done. You forget
Alright.
about it, and you think, "Oh, Pedro Pascal's acting is so great."
What I will say is, I
Could have been better.
apologize. I
It could have been a
apologize.
lot better.
I apologize to Zack Snyder. I've been mean to him far too much. It is a labor of love.
eh?
I know he loves the DC universe, and I've got to respect that. And I've got to respect him for bringing the Justice League to the screen, and also showing that Joss Whedon isn't as talented as he thinks he is. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like he really butchered it, didn't he? I think that's what is so telling about this, is that what shows the most is, oh wow, Zack Snyder just really just sort of annihilated this film. like if he just left it in the cut without the reshoots and whatever, because how much reshoots did he do on this? How many extra minutes of footage?
He said he didn't use anything that Whedon filmed.
No, but how? So all the stuff was already cut, already filmed and stuff. It was only the last.
How much did Whedon use of Snyder's?
No, I mean, no. In this, how much new stuff did he film? Do you know?
There were a number of new scenes. I know I'm not sure offhand.
But how many minutes? Like not a lot. Like we're talking.
No. I think he shot maybe an extra 30 minutes from what I've heard.
Okay, so we're talking 3.5 hours of footage. Yeah, that Joss Whedon could have just cut into what Zach wanted in a way, and he went, no. I want this to be my movie. I want my Superman to have a weird lip. I
want to put a Russian family in the middle of a nuclear.
Oh yeah, and the Flash doesn't save. Flash doesn't save the whole world. Let's change it so that he just pushes a car. That is the biggest downgrade, isn't it?
I was like, but if he was pushing a car that fast, they'd be dead. It's showing there's speed. There's like no stop.
It was funny. That made me laugh. I was like, "Oh wow, they really had your boy just pushing a car."
Joss Whedon, that's character. He said he'd never actually seen Whedon's version.
Good.
That's how much that hate there is for him in there. All right, moving on. Justice League. I recommend it. It's worth watching. If you're interested in filmmaking, it's also worth watching. Just in terms of storytelling and visual style, I think Zack Snyder's probably like one of the best in terms of visual storytelling. But the script ain't all that. But it's worth watching. 4 hours. It's not that long.
Well,
and there's a lot to see. It's not that long.
Average human's only up for 12 hours a day. That's 1/3 of your daily up being awake.
Dave's got the ump.
I haven't got the ump. It's just.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. But definitely worth watching. Now, moving on. No. There was the other big drop that happened. But what was really strange about it is it didn't get much publicity until the weekend, because Justice League was everywhere. I mean, they got Kevin Smith out to do a red carpet online. They had the press all on that. So like Falcon was this thing that people saw later on in the day or over the weekend. But for me, it was by far the better product. Before I get into it, I'll guess this time we'll start with Dave. How did you feel about the Falcon?
I actually enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Well, I enjoyed the first 10 minutes, and then it went a bit slow. And then it got a bit better again. And then it went very, I don't know, sloppy. Because all he wanted to do was find the killer. And then the killer was sitting next to him in the bar.
Did he want to find the killer, or he just wanted
the old man wanted to find the killer of his son? He wanted the answers, and he was sitting next to the killer right there.
I know that's going to be a tough conversation when that happens.
Yeah, so I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I watched it twice.
Okay.
Can't remember much.
Are you looking forward to the next few episodes?
Yeah, definitely.
And what about you, Mike?
Building up. Yeah, I think he's gone to sleep.
No, I was just letting you talk. I don't want to talk over you.
Mike, how did it go down for you?
Yeah, good start. Like, it's building up. It's not WandaVision, is it? We're not going to be dissecting this like a frog, trying to work out,
get it wrong.
Get it wrong, and there's a H, and that means something there. No, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I think I'm a big Winter Soldier, Captain America fan. It's when I sort of got into comics again, it was because of Ed Brubaker's run. So I'm interested to see where this goes. A little bit of espionage, a bit terrorist group. I'm interested to see what the world is like with the return of the people. I think that's a nice little insight we had. I like the little Anchorman joke. The sort of thing, do you remember an Anchorman where he goes, "The Human Torch was denied a bank loan," and I was just like, it made me laugh because it was like the Falcon was denied a bank loan, Yeah, that's what that's what I'm really excited to see is like, what was the world like for those 4 years, and then what's it like for the people that have come back? So you've got half the world are completely separate, which we've not really explored. In Far From Home, they just made some jokes. Oh, he's not actually 21. Ha ha ha. It's like now we're actually delving into what's happened to governments. Is there a Cold War again? Because Russia's sealed the borders. What's happened to all these countries? What's happened? What's happened to Wakanda? Has that, have they got loads of problems now? You don't know. This is it. This is the show. I think this is why this show exists. I think this is going to be the role. The role of WandaVision was to fill out Wanda and Vision as characters, I think. And I think the role of this show is it's going to actually show us what's happened. Because before, the Marvel Universe was very much similar to our own, a little bit different, but ours. But what we're seeing here is a very different reality to ours. We're going to have disjointed governments, families that are growing apart for years. Even if you were the closest family on earth, if one half of you got blipped, you're going to be like almost like a divorced family, aren't you? So you're going to have all. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to have all of these relationships, all of these people are disjointed, and the whole world is fractured. So I think that's what's going to be interesting about it, is seeing how all these people play against each other. That's what I think this whole series is going to be about. Is it's going to be exploring what the world looks like, so we understand it going forward and other stuff.
No, you brought up a really good point, and again, you boys should be writing for Marvel. What if you were married, right?
Yeah,
your partner's disappeared, and you've got a new partner, and your wife or partner blips back in.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Not only would that make an interesting porn film, but it'd just be like, what happens at that moment,
Yeah, and all these people would have been declared dead. So what would happen to assets? What would happen to marriages? Imagine if it was like you've got 2.4 children, yeah. So you've got two, mum and dad, a little boy, little girl, and then half of that is, half of them's gone. It's the whole repercussions of it all is, and what is it? Rhodey said, some allies are not allies anymore. Friends are enemies. All this kind of stuff. So that makes me think that you're going to have, countries fall into Hydra's hands because they offered us helping hand, and AIM, and all these big groups that we know about in Marvel have all got a chance to take hold in these governments where the government's halved, the military's halved, the police are halved, So that's what I think is going to be exciting, and I can't wait for them to kick the new Captain America's ass.
looks like he needs a beating. I swear,
Yeah.
Marvel are cruel, yeah, because literally they picked a guy who, looking at his face, is just like he needs a beating.
Yeah, he's like a real punchable face, isn't he? That's
a few things that came up, right? How bad did they do the Falcon? Like, I think the shield belongs to the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And the dude's like, you did the right thing, son. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, what? Sorry, what? This? Oh, we found someone else. It was like they didn't even ask
Not
him.
anyone else. He's John Walker.
True. He's John Walker. But that
John
face,
Walker.
though.
Yeah.
John Walker is the Captain America. He was Captain America in the comics for a couple of years.
But do you not think the outfit looked a bit sort of Confederate in a way? Like it looks a bit South.
It looked very 50s.
Like
they took his old uniform.
No, it just looks like a bit like Confederate Army, like the whole sort of buttoning of it all. Like I don't know if they did that on purpose to make him a bit Trumpy, but do you know what I mean? Do you not think there's sort of like a bit of a?
I don't know. Looking at it now,
it's very old fashioned, and then it's gonna be so fun to see his ass get kicked.
If it does, we don't know what's going to happen here. Do you know what I mean? We know he gets the shield back at some point.
Okay, I'm not watching any YouTube Easter egg videos. I'm not going to deep dive and analyze every little bit.
I'm not doing it.
Because there's no point. There's no point because you don't know.
Can I just do a little bit with you though?
Okay,
but I did spot something out, didn't I? The logos in the museum. And I said to you, what's the one with the stars? Because you had Hydra, Shield,
and Captain America's star.
And there was Captain America's star. So I looked into that, and it's for the Superhuman Tactical Activities Response Squad.
Bloody hell.
There's going to be another group.
That's going to be.
So there you go.
Okay, all right, fine. If we're going to go
you
there.
heard it here first.
all right. Let me
go on.
Let me do one first, right?
All right.
Sam, right, said every time he gives the government his kit to fix, something goes wrong with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
I reckon they've been trying to kill him all along. And that was the whole point of it. They wanted to get rid of him, and they've been trying to by downgrading his tech. Because how easy to do it if he's a Falcon and his kit's going wrong, what better way for him to go down than to die in action?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said to you at the beginning, he should have died anyway because his wings hit all the rocks.
No, but he pulled them in, mate. He was
no,
quick.
They all went in the sparking and everything. They should just fell off.
No, Star Tech, mate. Don't fall apart.
Yeah.
This ain't what's his name?
I asked
the other guy.
They made out of good material, and you went no, it's cheap shit.
All right, Mike. What have you heard? I get the feeling you've heard something.
Oh,
you went a deep dive. Gone.
I watched one video, and then someone was analysing the end credits,
yeah,
and all the documents and stuff.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, seriously, just watch the show. But people are saying that this is going to be something to do with the Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
and I'm like, cool. Let's see how that happens. And then because Mandapore got mentions, people
because they're going there.
Yeah, because Mandapore's big Wolverine, Wolverine with an eye patch, old patch.
Yeah.
So people are like, "Oh, we might see Wolverine." I'm like, guys, have you not learnt your lesson with WandaVision? Just watch the program now. Yeah, cool. Think, it might be that, but don't get your hopes up. Just watch it now. Because otherwise, you're just going to be getting your hopes up. Oh no,
I think Doctor Strange is going to turn up.
Oh,
well, Ross should have paired this at some point, because he was in
he was the Sokovia guy, and it's Sokovia Accord, so he was big on that, wasn't he?
And there's no way they've forgiven Falcon, because remember Falcon was on Cap's side during the Civil War. No way they've forgiven him for that either. Right.
So here's the thing. Do we know? I think Ross got blipped because he wasn't dealing with any of the briefings with the Avengers when they were off going exploring stuff, were they? Yeah. So in those 4 years he wasn't there. what's happened to his department, who's taken it over, how much power does Ross have anymore?
Olsen owns it.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe that leads him to doing some dodgy deals and stuff.
Do you reckon we could see the return of Stain? Who was Iron Man's, and who was in the Iron Man? Was Iron Man 2? It wasn't Stain. Who was the villain?
What, the Abomination?
Mickey Rourke.
No, who paid Mickey Rourke?
No, it was the guy from Pulp Fiction.
See, we've gone, but he's because Ivan Vanko was a Whiplash, so he'll make a return at some point, I'm sure.
No, he died, didn't he?
Well, they don't know. What did they say?
He blew himself up. He blew himself up, didn't he?
At
the end of Iron Man 2.
Well, they can still bring him back. It's all right.
Yeah, it's Marvel, isn't it?
It's Marvel. But who was the one that paid him?
Justin Hammer, or that one.
Say again?
Justin Hammer.
Yeah, Justin Hammer.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, because he's got to make a return now. Because during the blip, if he didn't blip, then it'd be like, we need you and your weapons advice. You know, Tony Stark's disappeared into a cabin with his missus. We need your weapons deals. We need you out here. Or if he did blip and he's come back, they wouldn't put him back into prison. They're like, well, you were dead. You know, if they bring Sam Rockwell back, I think this is the time to do it. And he could be the cornerstone of the Thunderbolts. Or Norman Osborn. But I know Norman Osborn's not going to repair anytime soon.
I'd like that. I'd like it to be Dark Reign, but that's after Secret Invasion, so they've got a long time to build that up. I think you're going to see Ross do it. I think you're going to see Ross be Thunderbolts leader. I reckon he does it under the cover. I don't reckon it's sanctioned by the US government or something. Oh, here we go. We're speculating, everyone. We've already started.
All right, let's get back to the episode.
All right, that's the end. No more speculating. That's it.
The action scene with the helicopters was I think my favorite action scene for a long time. One, it showed Marvel's putting the money down for starters, but two, I love the fact that Batroc came back again to get his ass kicked again, because that's a running joke in one of the Marvel cartoons.
And he was still hopping along everywhere, wasn't he?
Ultimate Spider-Man. Every time Batroc appears in the episode of Ultimate Spider-Man, he gets his ass kicked by Spider-Man. So it's quite nice that they brought him back and he gets his ass kicked by Falcon. But that was a great action scene. It reminded me of was it the third Transformers film, when they're in those suits and they fly in between these towers.
Oh yeah,
and I thought that was so well done. Apart from the fact that his wings did look at one point like they should have fallen off, but
when he went and hit the rocks and he should have died. Yes, I agree.
But it's Stark Tech, baby, Stark Tech. But the flying in between the helicopters, in and out, absolutely brilliant. And obviously the kid who's going to take over from the Falcon, it was front and center in that scene as well, and he plays a little part throughout. But what did you guys think of that action scene? That looked really well done. Yeah,
action scene, well done.
The money was spent well.
They put the pennies down. They put the shekels down. It was good stuff.
And what did you think? When they flew into the plane, and then he got his wings out while he was in the plane, and then just got thrown. And he was like, "What was the point? Why get your wings out, mate?"
I think that was like a weird, like he was like being like a primate, and then he was like being like an eagle, wasn't he?
Alpha.
You know what I mean?
He just got thrown by the frog man.
Yeah.
And I like the introduction of the Flag Smashers, because the Flag Smashers, Father turns quite a naff character, but the fact they've turned it into a movement.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Particularly the fractured world you've got. Interesting little.
Trust the guy. The
Which
American guy. I don't trust him.
Which one?
The one that should have died when he got kicked in the head.
Lopez.
Yeah. I don't trust him.
Oh no,
double agent.
He's all right. He's cool, man. He's Falcon in the comic books.
He got thrown. That guy just punched him and he went flying across the room. So when he booted him in the head, he should have died because this guy was like super strong.
Stark Tech, baby, and you can't kill a
robot man.
No, I get it. The strength levels of whoever that character is, who I presume is
Juggernaut.
We wish. But no, that was fantastic. That whole nice storyline there. The new Captain America, again, like you said, his uniform. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more like weird it looks. And I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel's getting that political. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're a black man with the shield who gives it to the museum. They don't even ask him. They just give it to the next black dude they can find. And it was like, oh shit. Oh. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Marvel's going down that route. Because it would make sense. Do you know what I mean? The comic books did the same thing. In terms of the politics of Sam getting the shield. And I think it'll make for really good storytelling. Over the next couple of weeks. It's another 5 episodes?
5 episodes. Yeah.
5 full Marvel episodes of this.
Well, it was sad they didn't make a film, wasn't it? So
yeah, this is more. I hope it's not something that could be a film. Because obviously WandaVision was like, okay, cool, this could be a film. This is my one thing is when that was my one worry when I saw the action scene. I was a bit like, yeah, cool. I've seen this. Do you know what I mean? It was cool. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, but I was a bit like, okay, this is film. This isn't TV. Do you know what I mean? I know it's good that we can have that stuff on TV, but I don't want it just to be a hangover. I want it
like a TV based sort of stuff.
Yeah, like it'd be cool. I don't know. Like I always think that kind of stuff is cool, but I hope they're not, because there was another scene I saw in the trailer where they were I suppose he is the Falcon, so he does fly. I hope it's not just loads of helicopter stunts because they got a good deal that, cash converters or some helicopters or something.
I think you're gonna be surprised because I think
all the ones Zack Snyder didn't use in Justice League. That's what it is.
Yeah. I think the action's gonna be front and center because, like, Winter Soldier, he ain't a flyer. There's gonna be a lot of face getting punched.
Agent Carter's coming to you.
Yeah, you got Agent Carter still to make a move. And I reckon.
Who's she working for?
I know we shouldn't be speculating, but I reckon Black Widow, the new Black Widow.
No, I think they've recast it with Sharon Carter. You said this to me a while back, and I agree. Because I think they wanted Black Widow to come out before this, so the new Black Widow would be in it. But because of the old corona,
added down the range, actually. So
so they've literally gone. We can do Sharon Carter, get her in, and then that sort of plugs the gap of it,
Yeah. I hope so. It's going to be badass. I'm so looking forward to this, especially after WandaVision, which, it wasn't bad, but the action was very limited.
Yeah, they've timed it well. They've spaced it well, I think. It's nice to have that sort of slow paced and then have this afterwards.
And I also want to figure out how Winter Soldier's actually going to get a date. Because he's got a lot of explaining to do if he wants to pull any woman. Like, that arm alone is like...
he's a pedo now. He can't go near these young women. He's 100 and something years old. Just wrong.
I've got here. What? He's still physically fit. He's physically fit. At least half his body's normal human. I'm just figuring, how's he going to explain a metal arm to any bird, even in this universe? Do you know what I mean? Is she not going to recognise? Good point. He can't take it off.
Surely for date night, he's got like a couple of attachments he could put on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I am
overdrive, baby.
But no, that'll be interesting. And also, I want to see what he says to the old man, because he's going to admit to the old man that he killed his son.
That's gonna be heartbreaking. That bit.
Yeah. And the old man, I think, is starting to realise that something's going down.
Well, he's got his honesty list, doesn't he? He's going around just...
Oh, I know what's going to happen. I reckon the old guy, I know what's going to happen. I reckon he's going to die before he can say sorry. Or he's going to
Spoiler alert.
or he's going to get stabbed or something, having an argument with someone in the alley. And that's why they did that little scene, and he'd get stabbed, and he'd be like, "I'm so sorry."
Rubbish.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Why aren't you writing for Marvel? You need to stop getting some of this shit now, babe, bro.
Do you not think though? Do you not think that's why you had that scene? They had that scene, set it up. Yeah.
Look, I like to think I'm a decent storyteller, but while you were coming up with that great plot, in my head I was like, he's a Yakuza boss. He's retired, and he's just going to bring out all the Yakuza, and there's just going to be a mad fight at the end. And
then Hawkeye's going to reappear again.
Yeah, and kill more foreigners.
And then Wolverine will pop out, and then
I was like, how that was a moment that Marvel really misjudged it. That Hawkeye during the blip period of time just spent his weekends killing foreigners, like he'd become all Liam Neeson. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not enough criminals in the United States. I'm going to go to Tokyo and wipe out the Yakuza. I'm going to kill Mexican cartels. I'm like, why didn't you start? You could have started at home. You know, how many supervillains could you have whacked while you were there? But no, Yakuza. That was a big misstep for me. But no, I think I'm liking Winter Soldier in this. It was a really thoughtful episode. And it didn't go off on any sort of weird tangents. And I think you felt for the characters, you know.
Yeah.
Never nice not to get alone when you're a superhero. And, you know,
I'm sure Falcon could just phone up and go, Pepper, can you just loan me like 20 grand? And she'll give him the money.
Yeah, I think he's obviously too proud to do that, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
And if he's working with the Air Force, surely he'd get some money. Or maybe that's
even a pension.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he should be doing, but I guess it just doesn't pay enough. Do you know what I mean? It just covers the bills.
He's been missing for 4 years, and then he was on the run for 2 before that, wasn't he? So that's 6 years without
money coming in. Traitor!
He should have gone on Tony Stark's side. He would have had a pension plan and everything.
We'll see. Well, gents, my God. How easily we rustle up to an hour on this show. And I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you're feeling entertained by our waxing of lyrical about our favourite TV shows. There hasn't been too much news. I think, Dave, you had one story for us?
Oh, they replaced Ruby Rose.
Yeah, they're bringing back Katie Kane, but under a different thing for Batgirl. I don't know why they're doing it. I've also heard rumours that it's going to be cancelled after season 3.
Well, they're doing it because apparently I didn't realise this was a trope, but there's a trope in TV of it's called burying your gays, and it's where with a lot of queer characters they end up killing them off. So the showrunner's like, I don't want to be doing it with this. So I think they're doing it where she's going to have like a facial thing happen. With that, she's going to be injured from a plane crash.
Well, no, apparently she's going from a different universe.
I read it was going to be she was in a plane crash and then she was injured.
Okay. And they rebuilt her face.
So like they do in those Days of Your Lives and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, this is I'm now 47 years older or stuff. You know,
no one's noticed.
Yeah.
Holy shit balls. Well, that'll be interesting. Well, will it be interesting? I don't know. I still haven't seen the new Batgirls. I don't know who's broadcasting it over here, but
will be.
It's very sort of you don't have to pay too much attention when you're watching it. That all of those CW shows are a bit like that. You can sort of drift in and out. It's sort of one of those things to watch when you're a bit tired, because you can what's going to happen. It's always the same kind of thing. It's like The Flash is a bit like that, which I'm only watching now because I've watched it from the beginning. I don't particularly enjoy it. I don't particularly hate it, but I'm just sort of like, oh, I better watch that. You know,
I get that.
Lingers on now, doesn't it?
I fell out of that.
It's all the same
season
thing.
3. I fell out of that after season 3 when I was like, how many times is he gonna meet a villain more super fast?
And then suddenly they've all got powers. And...
they've all got too many powers, man. That's the thing.
The only CW like DC show I'm looking forward to is Titans, because I quite like the first and I think second.
The new Superman's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that.
I'm enjoying that.
Titans is badass though, because Dick Grayson is such a good character.
Really good.
I love the fact he's got a really complicated relationship with Batman. You know, and the fact that Jason Todd's a bit of an idiot makes me laugh as well. Like it's all really well done. I think that show. I do enjoy it.
Well, I put the money behind it. I think they can do without the costumes though, especially Hawk and Dove, because their costumes are just two of the most like weirdest superhero costumes I've ever seen.
They're like early 80s costumes, aren't they?
I don't even know. It's just there's something off-putting. It's like, so what's your names? Hawk and Dove. Okay, okay, cool. Let's just roll with that. I just don't get their costumes, and they keep putting them on. Apart from them costumes, I think the rest of it's all well put together, and I really do enjoy it. The next big release on HBO Max is going to be Tenet, I think, and Godzilla, which are coming out in the next couple of weeks.
That looks fun. I'm gonna drink some beers and watch that. I think that's
Godzilla.
Yeah, that's the kind of drink some beers and watch it movie, isn't it? Like, you know, it's gonna be a bit of fun. Put some money on who you think's gonna win.
King Kong, baby.
It's all about the Kong, bro.
It's all
about that monkey magic.
My money's on Mecha Godzilla.
If he's cheating, he's wearing a suit.
Nah, Mecha Godzilla's gonna come out and be like, get a steel. It's gonna be a steel cage match. He's gonna get a chair and he's gonna just hit him across the head with it. And then Stone Cold's gonna come out and drink 2 beers and he's gonna stunner him. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And then Optimus Prime comes out and runs them all over.
You can imagine.
You joke about that now, but one day somebody's gonna make it happen. Do you know what I mean? We've already got what we already had a sort of crossover with Pacific Rim. Somebody's gonna go, we need to get them all in the same film. So Transformers, I don't know.
But the Pacific Rim, they all turned into like GoBots in this one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did they all link up? Or was I just thinking of something else?
No, they have to have two pilots.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
To bridge the gap for some unknown reason. But yeah, it worked. I loved the first Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
The second one.
Well, that's because they had a massive cast.
No, it was just it didn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time it had a bit of drama. It was a bit funny here and there.
Well, it's now a cartoon on Netflix. I don't know if any of you have seen it yet.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched the whole lot. I was like, oh, God.
I knew there would be one of us.
No, it was not terrible. It's all right, but it is a kids' animated series. It's not like...
Talking
it's
about
not,
that,
it's not an adult show.
Clone Wars has been announced on Disney Channel, the original one.
Oh,
April the
6th. Did you ever watch that one? That was the one.
He was so super powered in that. Do you remember when Mace Windu destroyed a whole clone army with his fists?
Yeah.
So this is the Cartoon Network version. It's coming out on April the 6th, I do believe.
Yeah, but it's all the character models for Clone Wars came from that.
Mega Chewbacca.
No, I'll be watching that. Oh my God! All the Ewok stuff's coming next month as
Caravan of Carriage is coming.
Oh God!
Droid, I think
talk about that.
Droid is coming, and I think the Boba Fett cartoon is coming as well, which was part of the Christmas special, but we don't talk about that. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, look, this has been another episode of the... I was about to say Global Frequency, but no, this is the
You say that every week. Have you noticed that?
This is the boys from Bossk. Another episode that we'll hit out for you. We'll be back next week with some more. I think hopefully back to our normal time. But we'll see how it goes. But every time we come, you'll be there, we'll be here, and we'll have some more action for you. As we go deep into the verse. And we'll be talking about the next episode of Falcon and also any movie releases that are coming up. So, thank you for your time. Gentlemen, good night.
Bye.